Welcome to our broadcast from the European Youth Media Days here at the European Parliament in Brussels. Our topic today is social entrepreneurship. It's very hard to define, but my colleagues Katarina Kuznetsova and Ala Valiente are here and maybe they can help us.
Yes, many people don't have a very clear understanding of what social entrepreneurship is. So quite often they misinterpret it with the business meaning or give very blurry explanations.
To find out an answer to this question, we have been in the long and never-ending corridors of the European Parliament. And although many people might know or might have a quick answer about it, not everybody feels free to respond to the question because they belong to the offices of the Parliament. But however, we found some people, some comments to it, and we're going to listen right now.
I think it's something very useful for everyone. Everybody should give a try to it.
I believe it's the use of social media to kind of advance new innovative ideas.
My interpretation of that expression would be the ability for entrepreneurs to create their own business ideas, to put them into reality without too much government interference, red tape, bureaucracy, and without too much taxation. I would say that it's much easier in Britain under much laxer and more easy market-friendly laws than it is here in Brussels.
The main objective of the action is social. So to develop the culture, the social relationships, more than just an economic vision or...
So, Katerina, you found also an example.
Yes, Diego Arguedas Ortiz is one of the social entrepreneurs who works for the improvement of education system in South Africa. Supportactivist.org is an example of how social entrepreneurship can become possible on a smaller scale, nevertheless making a positive change in the society. So let's listen what he says. Hi, have you got an idea what social entrepreneurship is?
I believe social entrepreneurship is the use of tools, techniques from usual business entrepreneurship with a social goal.
Okay. Do you know any examples?
Well, actually, I worked for a while in social entrepreneurship. We did a project on getting funds for a South African activist through crowdfunding in order to fund her education through university.
So how do you think social entrepreneurship can change the world? Can it?
I don't know if it can change the world, but it can at least make some small patches in the sense that there's so many things to do in the world that the governments can't make it because they're so limited nowadays with the actual system. So the civil society has to get involved in everyday stuff like education for people in South Africa, which you would expect like someone else, international governments, organisms will do. But then this is the way like civil society like you and me can get involved in things we care about.
So this were Anna and Katerina with the report. Thanks a lot. And now in the studio with me is Elisabeth Sociado from Greece, also a journalist colleague. And you will tell me about prominent figures which are very known.
Exactly. I'm going to talk to you about two very prominent figures in the social entrepreneurship field. I'm pretty sure you might have heard of them. One of them is Maria Montessori. Have you heard of Montessori with the educational system?
Yes, of course. She's very famous. There are Montessori schools all over the world, huh?
Exactly. Well, this lady, apart from creating her own system in education, what she did was to revolutionize early childhood education. Without her, nowadays, the early childhood education in the West would have been hardly conceivable. So in 1960, this lady founded Casa dei Bambini, or Children's House, in Rome. There, she developed what ultimately became the Montessori method of early childhood education. And as you said, Montessori's theories were based on what she observed children doing by themselves, unassisted by adults.
Okay, and the second example you have for us?
Well, there's this sir, may I say. His name is Mohammed Yunus, and in 2006 he's even won the Nobel Peace Prize. what he did was his goal basically was to end poverty in the world. And he was an economics professor, and he developed the concepts of microcredit and microfinance. He later used these theories actually to create the Grameen Bank. This bank was the community development bank in Bangladesh. And what it did was to lend money to poor people so they can start up their own enterprises, something which made a lot of them being able to make ends meet. So he basically based his idea on the fact that poor people have skills that are underutilized. And I think it's interesting to note that 98% of Grameen's bank are women.
Wow, this is impressive, of course. So women take part in social entrepreneurship a lot of this, huh? So Elizabeth, thanks a lot for coming here. Do you want to add something, maybe your personal opinion?
I believe that social entrepreneurship is something very much needed, especially nowadays in the European Union with the crisis, because what a social entrepreneur really does is to identify problems that governments cannot tackle and focus on that and devote their whole lives into solving this. So, for example, unemployment, that you have a lot of unemployment in Southern Europe, for example, can be a problem that one of our listeners outside might identify and want to solve. So I urge our listeners to find out more about social entrepreneurship and how they can help the world.
Thanks a lot, and we will go on with our research on social entrepreneurship in this broadcast.
Thank you.
So, as Elizabeth mentioned, I would like to see how social entrepreneurship works nowadays. And of course, it's interesting what the EU is doing for social entrepreneurs. So my colleague Austin Faas, the American journalist living at the moment in the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, reached the Austrian EU parliamentarian Heinz Becker, who made a report on this topic. And from Mr. Becker's point of view, social entrepreneurship means any activity in the social market economy with a proved impact with social benefits to the people. So, Austin's first question was, what is the position of the EU regarding social entrepreneurs?
The Commission first made it a topic in the EU, and the Parliament gladly followed up, not only to the sector of social entrepreneurship and as a social business initiative, but also another report besides mine, which recommends a social investment fund, which can provide and help with financial support. So, there will be lots of good possibilities in the future, and of course, we want to see social entrepreneurship as an integral part of the social market economy.
How big is the sector?
We have no data from our member states which would show a Europe-wide dimension. It is necessary to improve this database so that the European Union is able to manage it in the future. The reason for this is that the EU does not currently have legislative social competence.
Which problems can social entrepreneurship solve?
First, to serve the ever-increasing demands of society and politics for social efforts. And it's not possible to serve this without exact funding initiatives. Social entrepreneurship can enthuse and inspire young people. There's a high job potential, especially for young people. The whole crisis sets up good new chances for employment in the social market economy, as well as to promote professional self-employment with a meaningful social background. And this is what young people are looking for in times such as these.
And the last question was, how can people get involved into social entrepreneurship?
Communication is the key to success. There is a diverse culture in Europe, and we need to inform and set up a database which should connect the actual working businesses for information and benchmarks. But the most important idea is to give the people access to what and to where there are possibilities to join social entrepreneurship efforts.
So thanks a lot to you, Austin, for the overvoice, but you will still stay in the studio for another example which works in the real world. So now I invite Austin and his colleague Mai Møller-Christensen, a journalist from Denmark, to talk about their Skype conference with an employee from Mladi Info. Mai, can you tell me more about this?
Yes, I can. Mladi Info is an NGO organization. It's in Macedonia, and this is a really good example of this whole social entrepreneurship thinking, because they do actually help people without trying to earn money that way, more like starting a project. And what it's all about, I think we will hear in a few seconds from one of the employees there. She's called Tamara Milecic.
I'm Tamara Milecic. I'm from Croatia, and actually I'm collaborating with Mladi Info, one organization from Macedonia. The idea of Mladi Info started in 2003, and they started to work on the website. And now actually we are collecting, we have a team of people that are working on that. So we are searching all the information about different kind of education and putting this on the web properly, because we want that, young people from Macedonia have more choice in life. And the opportunity to find easily the information that they need to have a best education.
What sort of value have you gotten out of working for free? And I mean, what is the benefit of offering all this information?
Not only working for free, because we are giving free information to people, but in another way we are going to improve their future, to give them more opportunities. So it's not for free. Mm-hmm. It's like for a reason. Some stuff you cannot just buy with money.
Exactly. That's a good way of saying it.
I like to get, in contact with people that are coming from different countries and to work with them. And that's actually why I choose this work, because it's really like something that give me more than, a common work. Even if it's not really well paid, but for me the experience means much more than something else.
So Austin, may I can ask you in which way can their doing solve social problems?
Well, the way that Mladi Info is working, they've established a network of organizations in several countries in Europe that is working to help young people, not just from Macedonia, that's where it began, but now throughout the entire world, to help them to find opportunities to improve their education for free. And that's what Tamara was telling us about in what you just heard. Something else that she also talked about was how it's important not just to have support from a local community and from the students and young people who are being helped, but also on a higher level. And that's what we're going to hear in this next clip.
Mm-hmm. But even social entrepreneurship projects, as you mentioned, need sometimes money. So let's hear how the political support is.
Support of politicians, it's really important, and it's really important that they understand how many people are involved in this kind of work.
So you really think that this project is educating the society?
It's giving the opportunity to get some educational chance. You can learn how to fill a good application, you can learn how to do a good CV, you can learn how to prepare a good motivation letter. And this is stuff that you will need all the time in life, not just when you are going to study,
So, thanks a lot, Austin and May, for coming here today and make this interesting Skype conference. I think we learned a lot about this huge topic, social entrepreneurship. I also have to thank the whole team who made this broadcast possible. If you need more information, just visit our website. So this is Nicola Tefi from the European Parliament in Brussels.